Assalamualaikum. Hi. In this video, me and my friends will help you guys to recap our lesson in chapter 8, which is the struggles and noble efforts of educationists for our subject CPS 1113, Philosophy and Development of Education Industry in Malaysia. So, for this chapter, there are three main points that we need to know. There is the Western educationist that will be presented by me, the Eastern philosopher that will be presented by Nurin Farsha, and the National educationist that will be presented by Zulaisha. So, let's get to it. So, for the first educationist, I'm going to talk about the late John Dewey, who was born in 1859 and had passed away in 1952. In his nearly 100 years of lifetime, he has spent 50 years of it in the study of philosophy of education to improve our education system. Being the founder of pragmatist philosophy in education is one of his achievements after years of effort. She is also known as the the father of progressive education movement, and also had wrote a book called Democracy and Education. His famous quote is, "Education is life itself." The second educationist in Western world is Maria Montessori, who was born in 1870 and had passed away in 1952. She is a great woman who had resigned from her post as professor of anthropology at the University of Rome to work full-time with 60 children at the district of San Lorenzo in Rome. The contribution that he had made is to the discovery of method in children education. In her discoveries, it is said that children can teach themselves, and children's learning efficiency will increase if they are given the opportunity to interact with the environment as well as with the manipulative materials. And the third educationist is Jane Piaget, who was born in 1896 and had passed away in 1980. He was a clever boy who able to learn by himself with his interest of nature. He also have the skill to make close observation that most of the answer can be found only in the library when he was only 10. He believed that children is not just an empty vessel that are waiting to be filled. Children are more like the researchers who are eager to find themselves and in hand-on experience. So in this belief, he came up with a theory called children cognitive development, which has several stages with detail in children development that help current or present teachers to came up with better teaching method to teach our young children. The fourth educationist that I'm going to talk about is Carl Rogers, who was born in 1902 and had passed away in 1987. He involved himself with the research on dealing with children at the Association for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. With his effort with the research on dealing with children, he published two books, which is the clinical treatment of the problem child and the counseling and psychotherapy never concept in practice. Last but not least of Western educationists is Albert Bandura, who was born in 1925 and still alive in the present day, and we wish him to stay healthy and have a long life. Albert Bandura studied the role of social modeling and in relation to motivation, ideas, and actions. And his contribution came from his famous study, which is the bubble doll experiment, in which he used the funding from the experiment to write three books, which is the adolescent aggression in 1959, the social learning and personality development in 1963, and the aggression social learning analysis in 1973.
Hi, my name is Nurul Fazli. Now I'm going to talk about the struggles that faced by the Eastern educationists and the noble effort that contributed by them. Eastern educationists that I will talk about are Hamka and Lauzi. Okay, firstly, I'm going to talk about Haji Abdul Malik Kari Amrullah, or as known as Hamka. He has been known as an Indonesian educationist that wrote a lot of books and talks a lot about Islam. In his early life, he studied a lot by his own because he disagrees by his dad's decision to enroll him into Sumatra Tawalib and Islamic studies organization. After 4 years of studying, he lost his interest and decided to drop out his studies without diploma. Then he moved from another place to another place and developed his views regarding the barriers of Islam progress by Christianization and communism. Christianization means conversion of individual to Christianity. His famous works, such as Tafsir al-Azhar, talks about the ethics, the morals of Islam and the problems that faced by Indonesians. Then his creative works such as Tenggelamnya Kapal Van der Wijk talk about how the traditions incompatible with the belief of Islam and the common sense. Hamka's work talks a lot about social status, about how some traditions are not compatible with the belief of Islam, and he always criticized the traditions that are not compatible with Islam studies. Next, I'm going to talk about Laozi. He was an ancient Chinese philosopher and writer. According to Laozi, everything in this world is regulated by natural law. Thus, there are concepts like rich and poor, life and death, ugly and beautiful. The meaning of the belief is if there are no rich people, there won't be poor people. If there are no ugly people, there won't be beautiful people. And if there are no babies are born, then nobody will die, and so on. Tao Te Ching contains the teaching of Laozi that covers a lot of things such as individual spiritual until politic techniques. Tao Te Ching also leads the reader to come back to the nature and seek for Wu Wei. Wu Wei means non-action and also free from desire, because for him, people with desires tend to act unnaturally, and it will offend the balance of Tao.
I am extremely sorry for this, but I just need to do it. 皆さんのおはよういくりゆ先生 Okay, sorry, I can't help it. Anyways, hi, I'm the third presenter for this presentation. Chapter 8, the summary. So since this is only a summary, I'm just going to be touching only their contributions. I'm going to talk about the National Educationist, of course. Anyways, moving on. There's only like 4 of them that I'm going to be talking about. So first of all is Zabah, Burhanuddin Helmi, Aminuddin Baki, and Awang Hatsaleh. So first of all, Zabah, also or his full name, Zainal Abidin bin Ahmad. Apparently he was a linguist who contributed extensively to the development of the Malay language. Some of his works consist of Lita Bahasa Melayu, Ilmu Mengarang Melayu, Daftar Ejaan Melayu Jawi or Rumi, and then Falsafah Takdir Penggas 1, and then Pendapat Perbahasan Ulama Berkenaan dengan Qada and Qadar.
Coke, Fanta Cherry, and Fanta Blue Raspberry.
I really need to stop messing up my recordings, it is tiring. Moving on to the next person. Burhanuddin Helmi. Apparently he had composed, write, and also distribute the Berita Minggu. Yeah, Berita Minggu. Daily while he was studying. Yeah, daily. I said daily, not weekly. Apparently, he only study in your local kampung primary school. Nothing fancy at all. So, because of that, he then succeeded in producing more literary works in various forms, which are Mutu Kerajinan dan Asuhan Kesihatan, Mencari Allah, Perjuangan Kita, Agama dan Politik, Ideologi Politik Islam, Falsafah Kebangsaan Melayu, Simposium Tasawuf dan Tarikat, and then Arah Perjalanan Politik Tanah Melayu Sekarang. So, third person, not third point of view, but the third person. Malaysia's father of education, also known as Aminuddin Baki. I am trying so hard not to sing Tender song. If you know, you know, but if you don't know, then you don't know lah. I don't want to tell you. Anyway, so his contributions. The introduction to Islamic history for the teacher trainees of the Sultan Idris Teacher Training College, and then preparation to the Razak report in 1955. Completion of the Rahman Talib report in 1960. And then proposal for the Sijil Rendah Pelajaran, SRP, but known as UPSR nowadays. Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia, SPM, and also the STPM, which is Sijil Tinggi Pelajaran Malaysia, yeah. Also, he also set up the Malaysian Examinations Board. Hence, all of those ada kaitan dengan all of those obviously has things to do with the education in Malaysia, so that is why he is dubbed as the Malaysia's father of education. Makes sense though, right? Okay, last one guys. Anyways, the last person, Awang Had Saleh. Apparently, his first literary work was actually a poem that he published. No, it is actually then published in the Majalah Guru back in 1954. Yep. And then he also published his short stories that he wrote. Obviously, not other people's work, his own work. Don't copy other people's work. I mean it. Don't do it. That is plagiarism. There, I can't pronounce it right. In the short stories was published in Berita Harian. So apparently some of his works, there are actually a lot of them, but I am going to only state these. No, I won't put it in here. Which is Perbendaharaan Kata Itali Melayu, mengikuti novel Selindung Bulan Kedah, Merah Kuning Biru, and then Biru Warna. Yep, the titles are weird, but I am not one to complain. So I am done with my part.